you thinking?
What about got lumber with this thing?
Is that a 4x4?
Yes. Yes, it is. I never planned on being one of those, hey, I bought the cheapest this on Amazon and I'm going to review it for you. But after my most recent revelation of it goes against all the manly man-mans of a man. It's electric. It's dinky. But I actually kind of like this thing. I thought of something else that I've been wanting to do out in the yard, and there's something else that might make that a little bit easier. Now, I have a chainsaw. I have a real chainsaw.
He has a bunch of...
I have multiple chainsaws. But there's times you don't want to use a chainsaw. There's smaller stuff that doesn't need it. So I've got, lopping cutters that actually will cut things off. But sometimes you just don't feel like fighting with something that's 2 to 3 inches. Well, you can cut it with those, and they've even got the ratcheted kind designed for it. Sometimes you just wish you had a chainsaw that could make it go a little bit faster. So I found something in between. So today we have the new Huing cordless chainsaw. So we're going to unbox this puppy and find out if I threw away my money or if it's actually not half bad. Like I said, I was totally expecting that electric power washer to not do diddly, and it surprised me so much I decided, hey, let's throw a little bit of money at it. Now you can routinely find these types of 4 to 6 inch handheld saws all over the Zon from like the $50 to $100 range. This one came in under a sale that dropped even under that, and that's why we decided to give it a shot.
Are you telling me you bought a saw that was under $50?
I bought a saw this time that was under 50 bucks. I didn't even get the longer 6-inch version. Now, I also have a pole saw, and the saw only pole saw is actually detachable. Even that small electrical there is designed to be a two-handed operation. What's different about these is these are all designed to be a one-hand operated saw. Now, yes, that also means that these are probably one of the most dangerous tools you'll ever buy, because not only is it designed to hold one hand, it's designed to have your other hand nearby while you're doing stuff. Be careful with these if you decide to look into this and get one of these.
What do I always say?
Not tonight, honey, I have a headache.
Less yakking, more unpacking.
So, without further ado, because the wife is excited to go outside in the cold, rainy weather and do some sawing.
Oh, that's going to go over your shoulder.
Now, one of the reasons this probably was a cheaper version is that instead of a hard shell case, it's just a standard bag. Now, the way I'm going to use this thing, bag's all I need. A screwdriver, 2 21-volt max lithium. Now, it also comes with a wrench. Pretty much this is probably going to be to adjust the chain, and I'm assuming that just like all chainsaws, you will be constantly adjusting the chain on this thing. I've never seen a saw yet, despite how much they brag, that it actually doesn't get loose as you use it. Now, we come with a chain, the battery charger that goes with it, and one completely assembled baby saw. One chain is already installed, safety lever that folds out of the way as you're cutting through something. This is only the 4-inch version. Now, the kind of stuff I am planning on cutting with this, it does come up to a 6, but I have a 16-inch gas. If I'm cutting something that needs a 6-inch saw, I'm probably going to pull out my real saw, because one of these is going to struggle with something that big. I bought this specifically with the intention of trimming things that are 2 to 3, at the most 4 inches, but really more 2 to 3 inches, limbs and branches on trees, and I just want to go out, zip one off real fast, and be done. For me, the 4 inches is all I need. I can work with that.
Would it be good for trimming bushes in the front yard?
I mean, it kind of depends. Now, if we're talking about that one thing down here, that's actually what I'm talking about, because that's like 2 to 3 inch branches on most of that, whatever that thing is that I don't even know it came with the house. But if we're talking about things over here like the privets, they're very fine, skinny stuff. Like this is going to hit it and just, that is actually better for just shears, to just do shearing. That's not the kind of thing that would be good for something like this. I'm going to assume, looking at things, that it goes like this. Ta-da! Now it looks like it has a safety switch on the side that, let's see, yep, can't push it, so now let me push the safety switch in and
that's pretty loud.
It looks like the button actually will auto hold. Like if while I have that pushed in, it actually stays until you pull it off. That's kind of interesting. Let me pull this off for safety. So this is really just like your standard full-size chainsaw. You've got a gear that drives your chain. The bar, this is a 4-inch bar, looks just like the one on my chainsaw. A little thing here that actually will hold it into place. This baby bar, it just feels so
wrong.
Feels so wrong. And again, as you can see, this basically attaches exactly like any other chainsaw. You've got your blade tensioner here to move your bar back and forth. Your drive gear, the chain has teeth, sits inside of your track. So it basically is exactly like a regular chainsaw, just in a small portable version. With a chainsaw, they all nowadays have an oil reservoir and an automatic oiler. This does not have anything in that category. Let me look into the manual and see what the official instructions say. So the bar and chain does need oil. How often to oil the chain? Apply oil before each use. It can reduce the wear, prolong lifespan. It is recommended to choose the professional bar and chain oil. Use the same bar and chain oil you use on your standard chainsaw. Can engine oil replace bar or chain oil? Oil viscosity is not suitable. So yes, use a bar chain oil. Can edible vegetable oil be used instead? It can be, what? It can be used occasionally to replace bar and chain oil, but it is not effective at extremely cold or high temperatures.
What?
It's like, I like rednecking some stuff up, but I've never been told to in the manual before. There's a piece on the bottom that has to go into a little hole, and then the top part has to also go onto a hole. I think I just had a bad angle, because once I switched around this way, it just plopped right in. So this is a little bit tight. Like the hole for the screwdriver is actually like about the same size as the screwdriver, so this gets a little bit hung right there. Probably a little bit looser than it should be still. So yeah, if I needed to change the chain, this is the exact same process for changing out the chain to a new one.
Now you're going to make sure that it...
You can lose a limb with this thing. This is definitely going to be something that's adult only, and someone who is experienced enough to know to keep the spinny part away from the fleshy parts, because there is enough danger here that I would be worried about someone possibly injuring themselves. I'm definitely going to make sure I keep my hands as far away from this end, as the business end, as possible. Yep, standard wall charger. So yeah, it just plugs directly into the battery. And I guess they did it on purpose. They plug it in a way that you can't plug it up without removing it from the saw. So interestingly enough, there is not a single light on this thing. No, I can be lazy.
Let me see the instructions.
It's big enough to hold all the parts. You fold it out as a decent sized little nylon bag. It comes with an extra chain. I'm pretty sure you can buy these chains new. Technically, there should be nothing stopping you from sharpening it, but at what these will likely cost, the amount of hours you would waste sharpening this little thing, you're probably better off just keeping extras. And I hate being that disposable society, but that's kind of where we are now.
There is a light. It's not on the battery itself, it's on the charger. It says red light. Red light, it is not fully charged. Green light is fully charged. It needs to be charged 2 to 3 hours before the first use.
Well, there you have it. The handle is a rubber grip, so for me, I don't have the biggest hands in the world, so for me, this fits my hand very well. The plastic does not feel horrible. It doesn't feel like it's about to fall apart. Everything feels sturdy. There's nothing on here that I hate quite yet. As long as it does its job and will cut a limb, I'm good to go. Power adapter that comes with it, I will say, is kind of a little bit warm when it's running. So is it the hottest one I've ever held? No, but it does get a little bit warm, so this quality may not be as high as you would like. According to this, the input is both a 110 and a 240. Ours is your standard 2 blades, so if you're in a different country, the blades in your country may be differently, so that may change as well. But for our country, this does say that it is both 110 or 240. So yeah, we're gonna let this charge up, and then we will carry you outside and
I can't film no more up here. What are you doing? They really are. They're out to get me.
and I try to get it cleaned out every 2 years or so. Basically, I hit a point to where the loppers just weren't, they were a pain in the butt trying to cut this bigger stuff, and I didn't feel like pulling my chainsaw out when I would wind up coming out here for like 30 minutes or so and do a little bit. And so that's why we even look this way, is it's something to make it like a little bit easier. So I'm just using my Poulan bar oil here. In the perfect world, I would have a small oiler to put a small precise amount on here, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to kind of
do it incorrectly.
Yeah. Basically, I was able to use those loppers you just saw me using on this. I couldn't get any lower because it was just too thick for it to actually get up here. So that's the reason it was cut off up high like this. So let's see if this thing will do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Likey. What I got lumber with this thing?
Is that a 4x4?
Yes it is.
How clean does it cut?
I mean, we're not talking skill saw, but...
What about PVC pipe?
Ooh! Now, as I was talking, the chain is starting to get loose. I need to tighten the chain up a little bit. So I'm definitely going to remove the battery first so that this doesn't turn into one of those demonetized videos where I cut a finger off. So loosen, tighten.
So this happens with your regular chainsaw too?
I mean, in a way, this is easier than doing it on my chainsaw. I usually have to stop, carry my chainsaw up there and pull out all my real tools.
And again, this is not the right way.
Definitely not the right way. You see, like I've been cutting up into here, but I used to cut farther in, but these limbs have basically stopped me from being able to get the lawnmower like right up here snug.
Oh my gosh, that's so much faster. His left hand's away from the blade.
I'm keeping my hand away from the blade on purpose because this thing can be dangerous.
Wait, could I do it?
Probably.
I'm a little like, it's too woodsy. The woods are too woodsy.
Basically, you gotta use your thumb to push that in a little bit.
Okay.
And then you push the other button. There you go.
Oh, does this one have to stay pressed in?
As soon as you push the trigger in, it actually locks until you let go of the safety button.
Physically, for me, that's a hard action.
And you actually don't have to push it in much at all. It actually...
it's just a hard, like, I don't have a lot of strength in my thumbs.
Yeah.
So. I can do it, but I don't want to. Ooh, that's a big one.
Anybody out there know what that is? This is what I want to do, is just thin out all these stupid sweet gums that are growing up in here.
You look happy.
It's kind of nice. For a sub $50 piece of... Based on the design, it looks like this is intended to be a right-hand model. Basically the button here for your thumb and then your trigger. However, you can actually use it in your left and use your finger to both push the side in and pull the trigger. For me, it's almost just as easy. Like, this button doesn't require a lot of pushing at all. So technically, so yes, I can use it right or left-handed, but it looks like it is obviously designed to be a right-hand only model. It will work, but it was not designed for left-hand use.
Now, he is not left-handed.
Oh, I am not left-handed.
We figured out that it's going to do what you want it to do.
Yes.
And you didn't have to spend $120 to do it.
Yeah, and I don't have to pull my other chainsaw out. Just keep a battery charged up, grab it when you need it, bam.
All right.
I kind of want to just keep cutting. Wonder if I can chop down a real tree.
That is a rather... He cut the tree. That's a big tree with that little... I got attacked by a bug.
I am amazed. What if I can cut plywood?
It seems like dangerous.
Yep.
It did cut through it. You're gonna try a 2x4?
I mean, they cut a 4x4. Surely it can cut a 2x4.
I feel like this is a you wanted to hate it, but
Compared to like a full-size chainsaw, the thing is light. I mean, time will tell if it holds up. What if I can cut PVC pipe?
I said that out in the woods.
I know. Let's go find out.
Are you gonna cut everything?
I kind of want to cut everything. Have tools for small PVC.
Ignore our junky basement.
I'm the typical man. I have a bad case of anything worth doing is worth overdoing. So if I only need a small tool, I want to overkill it and get the biggest tool I can get. But there comes a point where just a small, basic, simple, lightweight tool does the job equally, and you can just whip it out quick, bam, done, throw it back in, and you're good. So after using it all that time, what you just watched, the blade still feels as sharp as it did when we first started. It's not an inferior chain. It's as good of a chain as is on a normal chainsaw, it feels like. The teeth are small, itty bitty, probably smaller than the smallest chainsaw.
Now that it's been used.
What I bought it for, it does it well, it does it quick. And if you throw in the amount of time it takes to get things ready, there is no time. It's like you keep a battery sitting on the charger, and when you're done, you slap it on. Well, it may not be good to leave a battery sitting on a charger. So far, the only downside is the sheer fact that this thing is scary. You may have noticed in the videos, I was doing my best. I made sure it was one hand. I was very rarely holding both hands on this thing because I didn't want this hand anywhere near that. If that worries you, and for some people it should, they make a lopper version of these things, not by these companies. Like those look like loppers, where it's actually completely, the blade is kind of completely shrouded by these protective guards, and you open it like a pair of loppers, and you cut, and then that's when you actually do the cutting. We'll leave a link below to that one as well, just in case you want to look into that one for safety, but we'll also leave the links to these. And if you look at this one, there's a ton of other ones out there. Most of them look the same. I can't speak to the quality of the others. This one I have in my hands. The others are probably fairly close.
I'm starting to get shaky hands.
And long story short, this thing actually works. So I'm kind of surprised. Again, I do not regret buying it. I would buy it again. Now, I'm not sure how long the battery's going to actually last. Everything you just saw, we were out there for almost 30 minutes cutting off and on straight, and she's still going strong. Nothing was slowing down. So I don't know just how long the battery will last, but I had no issues. Also, quality, who knows how long this thing will last, but it feels good. And if you want to like follow along, this will be getting used through some future videos here because I'm going to be using it a lot cleaning up these woods. So stay tuned and you can kind of see how this holds up.
Because that's why we do call it the project.
help desk because we are always doing projects.
There's a lot of people out there who are buying stuff just to get a review. I'm buying stuff because I actually need it and actually want to use it. So we hope that's what sets us apart, is that we're buying stuff to use it, not just to show you what it looks like and then throw it away.
I can tell you, he's going to use this.
I'm going to use the mess out of this thing.
Yeah.
This is the kind of cool thing you kind of keep with you. Oh, I got a limb I want to cut. I could chew through it with my bare teeth, but...
Oh, this is the kind of thing you just run over, like someone's like, I've got a quick project.
It's the kind of thing you just keep in the vehicle. Like, hey, I don't know how long the battery will keep it charged, but if you could just have this handy in the toolbox. And as always, if you enjoy watching this and think you might want to follow along with our other stuff, feel free to subscribe, like, share. Go down there and click the donate $1 million button in case you're just super rich and bored. And
you want to super thank us?
Yeah, I could always use $1 million.
Yeah, if we had $1 million, we wouldn't need to buy the...
Yeah, I wouldn't be buying the $50 version. I would have bought the $250 version. Now, we mentioned that I'm going to be using this to clean the woods out. If you actually want to follow along with what it looks like when I'm cleaning the woods out, you can watch this video over here. And if that's not the one you see, then it'll be the one where the power washer also surprised me at how well a dinky little electric thing actually can work.